Hey again everybody, and welcome. In this video we're going to take a look at how we can get the player character to interact with blueprints inside of our level, and not only that, affect them in different ways. So let's get started. We're looking at the Blueprint first person template project with starter content enabled. And the first thing that we're going to need is some blueprints to play with here. So because we have starter content enabled, we should have some inside our blueprints folder here. We're going to use the blueprint ceiling light to start. So let's go ahead and drag one in like so. I'm going to move it up just so it's not in the floor. And I'm also going to scale it up in the details panel over here because it's kind of small. Just scale it up by 2. And what we want to have happen is when the player is looking at this lamp or this ceiling light, and only when they are looking at it, allow them to press a button to turn off the light. So anywhere in the level, as long as the player is looking at this light, through the power of telekinesis, they can look at this light and press a button and turn it off. That seems pretty cool. So let's go ahead and try to do that. To do this, let's open the blueprint ceiling light here. So double click on it to open it up. It's going to default to the construction script. We're actually not going to worry about that. We're going to hop right over to the event graph here and start doing our own scripting. We're going to right click and search for a custom event. So this custom event will be called externally from this blueprint to execute the script that we're going to create here. So let's just call this the toggle light custom event. And let's hold control and drag in our point light from the My Blueprint window over here because this is what we want to turn off. Then we're going to drag off our point light here and we're going to set intensity. Now by default, this point light's value, I believe the intensity is set to 1700. We're actually just going to connect our custom event to the set intensity and leave our new intensity to 0. This will essentially turn off the light. So let's compile and save, and that's all we need to do for this blueprint. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. Now we're going to hop over to our player character blueprint though. So I'm going to hop over to the first person VP folder and our blueprints folder. And inside it we have our first person character blueprint. So let's go ahead and double click and open that up. And once we open that up, we have some script for our player character's movement and shooting. We're not going to worry about any of that. Just going to right click and drag those off screen like so. Because we're going to add our own script here. We're actually going to add a new key event. So let's right click and let's add an F key event. There you go, because that's kind of friendly. And we have a press and release. We're only going to use the pressed for this. And what we're going to do is when F is pressed, if the player is looking at the light, allow them to turn off the light. Now we need to determine if the player is looking at the light first of all. So to do that, let's hop over to the My Blueprint panel. And under My Character, there is our first person camera. And this is the perspective of the player in first person. So this is perfect for us. Let's hold control and drag that in. And what we're going to use now, let's right click and let's search for line trace by channel. And what a line trace is, if you mouse over it, it does a collision trace along the given line and returns the first blocking hit encountered. So what does that mean? In game, what will happen is we will shoot out an invisible line from a start location to an end location. And if we hit something along that given line, return back what it is we hit. And that is perfect for what we want here. So let's go ahead and select the line trace by channel node. You can see there's a lot of inputs here. We're not going to worry about all of them. We're only going to worry about the start and the end. So let's connect our pressed to the end of our line trace to make sure that our line trace function gets called. And to get the start location, we have our first person camera here. We need to drag off of it and get world location. Get the world location of our camera. That is going to be our start location. Let me move this over just a little bit more. To get the end location, however, we're going to get our start location and add some units to it, some measurements to it. And let's go ahead and do that by dragging off the first person camera again and get the forward vector of that camera. So get forward vector. And once we have the forward vector, we need to shoot out from it a certain amount. So let's add a multiplication sign and vector times float. This will allow us to define how far out we want to shoot. Let's just say 5,000, like so. And let's add that to our get world location by adding a plus sign. So vector plus vector. And let's connect our end to that. And connect this to the end. Now we can compile and save. And if you look down at the draw debug type, there's an option here. It's currently set to none. If we click this and scroll down, there's an option for persistent. Go ahead and select that. And then compile and save and hop over to your level really quickly. And then demonstrate exactly what's happening here. So if I play, inside my level here, we said that F key starts the line trace. When I hit F, you can see that a little red box kind of has been created on the wall there. If I move away, now you can see our line trace. We've shot out a location from our start to our end and determined if we hit something. So we can use this to see if we are looking right at our light here, like so. So with that, let's hop back over to our first person character here. And let's continue our script now on the out pins. First thing we're going to do is hold B to create a branch. And let's connect that like so to make sure that our branch gets called. You can see it's asking for a Boolean condition. And we have a return value. The return value here, if I mouse over it, true if there was a hit, false if otherwise. So this tells us if we hit something. So let's connect that to our condition. And if we hit something, we want to find out what it is we hit. So this out hit gives us a structure. And a structure is a collection of different information, different variables. So let's actually break this hit result. And you can see what that structure contains. It contains a bunch of different information about what it is we hit. All we really care about is the actor that we hit. So let's drag off our hit actor here. And from our hit actor, we can use a cast node. So the cast will tell us, if we do a cast to, is it our blueprint ceiling light that we hit? So go ahead and cast to the blueprint ceiling light. And if it is our blueprint ceiling light that we hit, we can call that function that we created inside of it by dragging off this pin here. And I believe we called it toggle light. Yeah, we did. So let's go ahead and call that toggle light function. So recapping really quickly, when the F key is pressed, perform a line trace by channel from the start of our camera to the end that we specified. If we hit something, if we don't hit anything, don't do anything. If we hit something and it is our blueprint ceiling light that we hit, call that function inside of it to turn the light off. So everything should be working. Let's compile and save. And let's play in the edit here and test that out. So if I hit play and I hit F, you can see my light is on. My light's still on. But if I look right at my light and I hit F right on it, boom, I turned my light off from across the level. That's pretty cool because I have telekinesis powers. There you go. You can also turn off that persistent debug option. And then if you compile and play in the editor again, now you won't see that line. This is more of a visual representation of what you'd want to see in your game. So I could be back here and be like, boom, turning off that light from way over here. So there you go. That is one method of interacting between blueprints. Let's show you another method really quickly. Suppose we had several blueprints in our level, and we all wanted them to do different things when the player looks at them and presses the same button. So let's go ahead and hop over to our starter content and the blueprints folder. And let's drag in a blueprint wall sconce now, because we're going to affect this one. So I'm going to drag that in and drag it up against my wall and move it up. Actually going to scale it up too because it's kind of small. Let's just 2 by 2 by 2 like so. There we go. Looks good to me. Let's actually create a blueprint, another blueprint to work with. We have some particle effect blueprints created here, but we're going to use something different. Let's just, from the modes panel in the placement tab, let's drag an empty actor into our scene. And really quickly in the details panel, let's add a component. Let's add a static mesh. The name is fine. For the drop down here, I'm just going to create a cube, shape cube. So this is going to be our shape cube blueprint here when I click the add blueprint button. Going to also save it inside the starter content and blueprints folder just so that the 3 that we are working with are located in here. And that is good. So what we're going to have happen, when the player looks at this light and presses a button, again, turns it off. When the player looks at this light and presses that same button, we're going to have them destroy this wall sconce. When the player looks at this cube and presses that same button again, we're going to have this cube move up along the Z so that it starts to move up in the air. So all pressing the same button, all 3 of these blueprints are different blueprints, and we will have them respond to the player's input accordingly. So to do that, what we're going to do, let's right-click inside the content browser here. We're going to create a blueprint interface. So if you go under Create Advanced Assets, and under Blueprints, there's the Blueprint Interface option. Go ahead and select that. And let's call this the Player Interface. Now what a blueprint interface is essentially a contract. And blueprints can choose to implement or not implement this contract. And any blueprint that implements this contract, any functionality that we provide inside this interface will be passed to these blueprints so that they can also implement that functionality. Now, what do we mean by that? Let's actually double click and open the player interface here, the blueprint interface. And you can see when we open it up, it's somewhat similar to the other blueprints that we've been working with, except it has a big giant interface text down here at the bottom. And it's asking us to create a function right off the bat. So let's go ahead and create a function, actually. Let's just call this the looking at function. And that's all we're going to do, actually. That's all we're going to do inside this blueprint. We could add some inputs and outputs if we wanted to do some fancier things. But for us, just to demonstrate how these work, I think this is fine. So let's compile and save and close our player interface here. Now what we're going to do, let's go back to our blueprint ceiling light here. And let's edit it. So I'm going to click the Edit button here inside the World Outliner. So we had our custom event that we were calling specifically from our first-person character here. Here we are calling that specific function. What we're going to do inside our blueprint ceiling light is actually kill this custom event here. And we're going to go up to the Class Settings option. And we're going to add that blueprint interface that we just created. Right now you see no interfaces are added. Let's actually add one, our player interface that we just created. I'm going to hit compile. And when I do so, now I can say event looking at. This is the interface that we just created, the function that we created in our interface, excuse me. So there we go. Let's select that. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a blueprint interface icon indicating that we are using our blueprint interface event here. So I'm going to connect that like so. Compile and save. And let's hop over to our first-person character blueprint now, and let's actually kill this cast to blueprint ceiling light, and let's kill our toggle light as well, and let's implement that interface here as well. So let's go to Class Settings and Interfaces and add our player interface here, and let's compile and save. And what we're going to do now is if we right-click and we search for player interface, we may need to uncheck context sensitive to see this. Yeah, there we go. Now we have the option of choosing a message, a looking at message instead of an event. So let's choose the message here. And you can see there's a little envelope icon here. You can see it's saying using interface, the player interface. So let's go ahead and connect our true. And the hit actor is going to be our target. Let's compile and save. And let's play in the editor really quickly and test this. So if we play now and we look at this and we hit F, it still turns our light off. And it turns it off in a different way because we used an interface. Now, what we can do, let's go over to our wall sconce blueprint here. And let's edit it. Once we open it up, it's going to open to the construction script. Don't worry about that. We're going to hop over to the event graph. We're going to implement that interface here as well. So let's hit Class Settings and add the player interface. Let's compile. Let's right click and search for event looking at. There we go. There is our interface icon. And for this one, let's add a particle system just for fun. Particle system up here in the components window, like so. And for this particle system in the details panel, let's give it an explosion. And let's turn off auto activate because we're going to do this through our script here. So let's hold Control and drag in our particle system like so. And let's drag off of it and say activate, like so. And connect that to that. We're going to right click, add a little bit of a delay node here, just so that after our explosion occurs, we delay half a second and then, or not half a second, 0.2 seconds, and then destroy the actor. So let's right click and search for destroy. Destroy actor. The target is ourself. Now, because we've used this interface here, if we compile and save, when we call it inside of our player character, it gets passed in here as well, and we execute this script now. So if we play and we look at our light, we press F, we turn it off. We look at our wall sconce and we press F on it. Am I not hitting it? Am I not hitting you? There we go. I guess I wasn't hitting you. Helps to have the debug line on sometimes. So you can see we pressed F to turn on our light. We pressed F to destroy this light. We haven't set any script for this one. And you guessed it, it's going to be similar to the methods that we just used a minute ago. So let's open up this blueprint here. Going to select it and edit it. And I'm going to hop over to the event graph. And what are we going to do? If you recall, see if you can go ahead and do it yourself. We're going to go to class settings. And under interface, we're going to add that interface, the player interface. Going to compile. Make sure you compile. Going to right click and event looking at, like so. There is our interface event there. Let's take our static mesh, hold control and drag it in. And we're going to add a local offset to it. And let's connect it like so. And for the Z, let's just make you go up along the Z 50 units each time this interface is called. Going to compile and save. And let's play in the editor and test it. Now we have 3 different blueprints, all responding differently when the player looks at them and presses a button. Turns off the light and explodes that light and makes our cube fly up into the air whenever we look at it and press F. So there you go. You have learned how to use blueprint interfaces and a couple of different ways of interacting between blueprints. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.